my antenna comes up and I start watching. But the reason is because I'd prefer to see you being born again as against you telling me.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So it's not, yes, I want to see it from your life. So I'm not really trying to just hear what you have to say. But because my own encounter was when I sort of changed my life focus and the approach from doing things the way I taught them best to
Okay.
doing things the way, the Bible showed me.
Right.
I had a totally different approach and perspective. So that was very, very, it's very important because I would never have been a businessman without that. So as much as, Christians take every opportunity to evangelize or preach the word, mine is like, it's a reality. I can't tell the story without that turning point, right? And funny enough, I can't tell the story without you because the day it happened, it was you who took me from going to a nightclub to going to camp, to reading camp, right? So there's no one on earth, I can tell that story, without those, key points, right? But when that change happened, I started to view things very differently. And I realized that there's so much you have inside of you.
Yeah.
There's so much that you really just need to make up your mind within and start to work it through. And what the Bible did for me was it gave me a methodology on how to do it. So there were a number of approaches beyond. Yes, it did. It gave me multiple methodologies on how to go about it. So prior to me achieving that objective, I'd basically seek advice from someone and say, I want to start off a business. How do you do it? But I started to get advice like, do not, despise humble beginnings. Someone who's righteous in little, be righteous in plenty. If you basically build on a solid foundation, regardless of the weather, you will stand. Someone who stands, in the ways of the righteous, who does things, in ways in line with the will of God, would be like a tree planted by the waterside. So as I was taking this thing, I had a different perspective or approach on how to do things. I started to say, okay, fine, I'll stay here because I'm building a solid foundation. And when something hits me hard, I'll say, this is a storm. And the storm will shake me, but it won't break me. So when I get hit by a very, tough thing, I'll say, yes, but I'll stand the test of time. So I basically had things within that could make me, stay through the whole challenge. And then after the whole storm, you just basically see that there's really nothing to this. This is just, it's just a straightforward matter. So basically I had the ability to see through what was going on and then make sense out of it. So amidst all of that, I was able to judge, analyze, understand, take in, and, see through. So this is without capital. This is just inside of you. And this is what we will call intellectual property from a business perspective. So I started to gather the intellectual property. And I later found out that, what do I have? What do I have to bring to the table? A very, very, again, I don't want to sound too like a pastor, but a case of, the widow with oil, and, saying she had nothing, right? And, the prophet says to her, Elijah says, she should see what she has. She says she has nothing but these jars of oil. So I'm like, what is my own jar of oil? What do I have, right? And I found I had nothing. I didn't have any special abilities. I was just so bare, So I'm like, okay, how do I make something out of this? But I started off by truly finding out what I had. And what I had was my desire and spirit, or my intention to come out of a state of dependency, dependence and into independence. And whatever that took, I was ready to give it. And I basically started writing business plans. Because when I found out I could do nothing, I just thought, okay, I could write a business plan. And how could I write a business plan, for God's sake, right? I had not done this before. But I wrote one for myself, because I found out, what is a business plan? And I said, look, anyone who wants to go into business must have a plan. So I said, okay, that sounds okay. So I started to read about writing business plans. So when I researched it, I found out that this is very similar to my project in school.
There you go.
So research methods.
That went somehow.
So it was research methods. So I said, okay. I took the whole process for research methods, and I basically wrote out my business plan. When I wrote my business plan, I took it. The guy said, how did you do this? Because I did everything proper. I did introduction, hypothesis, I administered questionnaire, every single thing, right? And despite it was my worst class ever in my life, but I had to use it. So it turned out to be everything I didn't like, I had to use. And so at the end of the day, I wrote this plan. I took it, I got an approval for the plan. And then, actually, I needed a telecom license, so I had to write a plan. So I wrote the plan because no one could write a business plan. So early in the days, in the 98, I went to get a license from the SEC, and they said, well, for yours to give you a license, you need to bring a business plan to support your application. So I went around the city of Abuja to look for a business plan. No one could. So I said, I researched, what is a business plan? And when I saw it, I said, I could write this. This just sounds like my project. So I wrote it. And everyone was like, how did you do this? People are looking for this. So people started looking for business plans. So I started writing business plans.
Oh, wow.
I charged 25. Yeah. So I charged 25,000 naira for the business plan. So
businessman.
Yes. But you know what's funny? So when I started writing, people were paying for it. And I said, okay, I moved it to 50,000. People paid. Moved to 100. People paid.
I hope we're all learning here. Let's go and start, writing, charging.
But you know where it got funny was that somebody paid me $1 million naira for a business plan.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. But
and this is writing a business plan that's not yet suburban work that we're planning to get the license.
No, it's telecom. I was just writing telecommunication.
Yeah,
so after I written the first two, I became a specialized business plan guy. So anybody who is looking for a license has to look for me to write a business plan. But I now wrote a $50,000 business plan for a multinational company.
Whoa.
They pay me, right? So then I knew this is very serious. So my first house in Abuja, car, everything, I got it from writing business plans, my office.
Business plans.
But I'll tell you what got even more interesting. As I was writing the business plans, I ended up